The laugh came first. Sharp, metallic, wrong. I was standing in my own hallway, keys still in my hand, listening to it bleed under the bedroom door. A man's voice followed, smooth, confident, used to being obeyed. I didn't rush in. I've been a cop for 20 years. Small town. Rusty badge. People think that means slow. It doesn't. It means patient. I pushed the door open. They didn't scramble. Didn't panic. He sat at the edge of my bed like he owned it. Silk shirt. Gold cufflinks. Oil money dripping from his wrists. She didn't even reach for the sheet. She looked at me the way you look at an outdated appliance. Then she laughed again. 20 years, she said, shaking her head. Wasted on a small-town cop with a rusty badge. No apology, no fear. Just dismissal. I didn't argue. Didn't shout. My hand slipped into my pocket and pressed record. I let her talk. Let him smirk. I let them underestimate me. She said his name like it was currency. An oil tycoon. International deals. Offshore accounts. Private jets. I watched the way she leaned toward him. The intimacy wasn't physical. It was strategic. She thought she had upgraded. I stayed loyal while you chased parking tickets, she said. I deserve more. More. That word echoed. 20 years of night shifts. School recitals missed. Mortgages paid on time. A life built brick by brick. And she called it small. He didn't say much. Men like him don't need to. They purchase silence. But when he did speak, it was careless. Don't worry, he told her. The audit won't touch us. I've handled bigger investigations. Audit? Interesting choice of word. I kept my face blank. I asked one question. Is that so? She rolled her eyes. Please, don't pretend you understand how real money works. Real money. The arrogance in the room was thick enough to taste. I noticed his phone on the nightstand. A notification flashed. Encrypted messaging app, a name I recognized from a federal bulletin last month. My wife thought this was betrayal. It wasn't. It was evidence. I left without slamming the door. That would have been emotional. And I wasn't emotional. Not anymore. I didn't confront her again that night. I made coffee, sat at the kitchen table, transferred the recording to a secure drive. I listened to every word twice. The next morning, I made a call. Not to my chief. To an old academy friend who transferred to federal years ago. I didn't tell him everything. Just enough. Names, phrases, audit, offshore. He went quiet. Send me what you have, he said. So I did. Then I waited. Externally, I behaved the same. I kissed her cheek before work. She barely noticed. She was busy texting him. I accessed phone records through legal channels. Cross-referenced financial filings. Public donations that didn't match declared income. The Tycoon had been circling for months. Private dinners disguised as charity galas. Trips she claimed were spa weekends. I watched, logged, documented. At dinner, she mocked my job again. You could have been something, she said. If you weren't so content. She mistook integrity for weakness. Meanwhile, federal interest intensified. Search warrants don't happen overnight. They build like pressure behind a dam. And I knew exactly when it would break. The truth arrived at 5:42 a.m. 3 black SUVs. No sirens. Precision. I stood in the driveway with my coffee as federal agents approached the house. She opened the door in her silk robe. Confusion first, then recognition, then fear. They walked past her without drama. Straight to the bedroom. Straight to him. He was still there. Arrogance fades quickly when badges multiply. She looked at me, not laughing now. What did you do? She whispered. I held up my phone, pressed play. Her voice filled the foyer. 20 years wasted. The agent glanced at me. A flicker of understanding passed between us. The Tycoon tried to negotiate. They always do. But handcuffs are louder than excuses. As they let him out, he didn't look at her. He looked at me. Different expression this time. Measured. Respectful. Predators recognize other predators. She collapsed onto the stairs. You ruined everything. No, I clarified everything. The divorce was swift. Evidence has a way of accelerating outcomes. Assets froze. Accounts scrutinized. She had tied herself financially to him, believing proximity meant protection. It meant exposure. Her lifestyle evaporated within weeks. Meanwhile, I quietly finalized something she never knew existed. An inheritance from an uncle overseas. Investments I'd managed privately. Conservative, disciplined, not flashy, but substantial. Thanksgiving approached. My daughter-in-law called. "If you want to join, come wash the dishes," she said, laughing lightly. "Mom says you're not used to luxury anyway." Mom, still bitter. Still talking. I replied with one word. "Enjoy." Then I posted a photo, not bragging, just existing. A villa in Switzerland. Clean lines. Mountains behind glass walls. Snow untouched. Captionless. My phone rang. Once, twice, 71 times. Voicemails shifted from sarcasm to curiosity to desperation. "You never told us. Is this real? Dad, why didn't you say anything?" Because Wealth whispered. It didn't perform. She called too, crying now. "You hid this from me." I corrected her. "You never asked." Silence stretched. "I thought you were small," she said finally. "I was quiet," I replied. "There's a difference. I didn't move to Switzerland for revenge. I moved because I could. Because mountains don't lie. Because silence there feels earned, not imposed." She lost her status, her security, her illusion of upgrading. Not because I screamed. Not because I fought. Because I listened, recorded, waited. People reveal themselves when they believe you're beneath them. That's the advantage of a rusty badge. It blinds the arrogant. Sometimes betrayal isn't a wound. It's an audit. And when the numbers finally balanced, I wasn't angry. I was free. The last voicemail I saved was hers. Soft, regretful, smaller than I remembered. "Can we talk?" I deleted it without listening twice. 20 years weren't wasted. They were invested. And I just collected the return.